Now, the most frequently used feature really in the organizational phase is ratings. And I kind of got this out of order at the end of the last one. I said we're going to jump into analyze and fix, but I'm going to jump back to ratings because this is the thing that we're going to use most frequently. By default, when clips come into your project, into your event, they are unrated. So no ratings and keywords, your clips are going to show up under that filter. So by default, clips are unrated. U is unrated. As you start to identify clips that you like, that's where you would maybe mark them as favorites. So here is a clip that maybe I've decided that I like, and if we were doing some longer elaborate project, we might be isolating all of the good answers that a person has for an interview and then marking them as favorites. And then those are called selects, and at that point we've got all the favorites and we can put them in the timeline, or we can do some storyboard editing like we looked at before. But this clip I can mark as a favorite just by hitting the F key. And as you see, you get that green line above there. As we talk about our ability to understand different software programs, knowing that green line means it's a favorite is kind of a key feature. Versus if I add Command K and I add a keyword to this, type in floats, then I've got a blue line over there. And then there's one more little line, and we'll get into Analyze and Fix. That's Final Cut Pro may add a purple line. It's important to understand what those mean because we're trying to be pro level. We want to go out of here and have a certain skill set where we can explain these things. So you're going to go through and you're going to mark your clips as favorites. If you decide you don't want a favorite anymore, so this clip maybe I decided is not really one of my favorites, I can hit the letter U and that unfavorites. So it means unrated, but I like to say unfavorite. It's either favorite or it's unfavorited. And if I want to filter, it's always important to know that you're going to be able to see only the favorites when you have this filter on, and then you'll wonder, where are the rest of my clips? Well, you've got this filter on. So let's go back and talk about rejecting clips. Here's one that I decide I don't want. So I'm going to hit the delete key, backspace delete, in which case we get a red line across the top of the clip, and that clip now is a rejected clip, and I can hide my rejected clips. They're not gone. I can go back to them. Maybe I can grab some natural sound from that to put into a project at a later date. Here's another one that I decided I didn't want to use, and so I hit the backspace delete key, and again, those are rejected and they don't show up. If I have it selected to where they do show up, I'll see them. They've got the red line. Last thing I want to do is talk about the browser used media ranges. I love this because that way when you're putting projects together, you can say, what haven't I used? I've got so many clips in here. So you can go up here and select unused media, and you can find all of the clips that are unused in here. Okay, so those are some of the different ways to see your clips. And of course, I'm actually in a timeline right down here that doesn't have any clips used, so they all show up. If I open up this timeline, my unused media changes pretty significantly. So there's some of my used clips there with the little purple dot, or rather purple. I just looked at that color and called it purple. A little orange dot. So just knowing how to mark these clips favorites, how to remove that rating, unrated, unfavorited, however you want to think about it, how to reject clips with the delete key, and you'll be in good shape because that's the type of thing that we'll be using over and over again.